Good evening. My name is Marjorie Moss, and I'm the current chair for the Serve Nebraska Commission. Welcome to the 6th annual Serve Nebraska Step Forward Awards. The Step Forward Awards recognizes and honors individuals, businesses, civic clubs, organizations, and schools making the Nebraska difference every day through the national service and volunteerism. Even though everything looks a bit different this year, we are so glad to be here honoring the selfless acts of service and dedication to charity that Nebraskans are well known for. Today, we will be recognizing and thanking some truly exceptional volunteers for their leadership, innovation, and hard work. They prove every day that ordinary citizens can have extraordinary impact in our communities. As we get started, I am honored to introduce a group of volunteers who have stepped forward to serve and without whom we wouldn't be here tonight. Serve Nebraska commissioners are appointed by Governor Ricketts to provide leadership and promote national service and volunteerism in Nebraska. They are Matt Blomstead, Nebraska Department of Education; Amy Hall, Bosselman Enterprises; Ashley Hathaway, Think Whole Person Healthcare; Care Heilbrunn, State Farm; Lisa Hyatt, Girl Scout Spirit of Nebraska; Don Hovey, Oasis Senior Advisors; Kelly Fleming of Omaha Public Power District; Ashley Mueller, University of Nebraska-Lincoln; Stephanie Mueller, Metropolitan Utilities District; Deborah Neary, Nebraska State Board of Education; Wayne A. Nestor, Pastor, Trinity Lutheran Church; Sheila O'Connor, Association of General Contractors, Nebraska Building Chapter; Joe Popivas, Nelnet; Patty Stengel, ex officio Senior Portfolio Manager, AmeriCorps; Jennifer Worthington, Grand Island Public Schools. Special thanks to the Community Volunteering Committee for their leadership on today's event. I also want to thank the Serve Nebraska staff for their hard work and contributions to this event. Kathleen Pleger, Executive Director; Audrey Jackson, Financial Grants Manager; Catherine Lacey, AmeriCorps Program Development Officer; Michelle Zinke, AmeriCorps Program Officer; and Ronnie Tabrick Potter, Public Information Officer. This event would not be possible without our generous sponsors: Motion Content House, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, Union Pacific Railroad, Metropolitan Utilities District, Nelnet, Home Instead Senior Care Foundation, Share Omaha, Omaha Public Power District, Black Hills Energy, AAA of Nebraska, Structural Component Systems, Benny and Jamesina Moore. Thank you. Thank you so much. I am honored to introduce our first speaker this evening. Governor Ricketts has long demonstrated that he, in true Nebraska fashion, is deeply committed to civic service and volunteerism. He has always been a staunch supporter of AmeriCorps and national service programs in our state, and is driven by his desire to give back to his community and make Nebraska the best state in the country to live. Aside from his duties as governor, he serves on the board of the Mid-America Council for the Boy Scouts. As a director of the Nebraska Game and Parks Foundation, is a member of the Board of Advisors of Opportunity Education Foundation, and is a dedicated member of the Knights of Columbus, for which charity is the highest of all principles. Please join me in welcoming Nebraska's Governor Pete Ricketts.
Thank you, Marjorie, for the kind welcome. I'm excited to be here with you all, celebrating the selfless acts of service done by Nebraska volunteers this year. You know, Nebraska's dedication to volunteerism is part of what makes Nebraska so special. Our state wouldn't be what it is today without them. And I'm confident, judging by the spectacular nominations that were submitted this year, that our volunteers can help Nebraska get through anything. I am so proud to be governor in a state which is the 6th in the nation in volunteerism, which banded together, showing a tremendous amount of courage and compassion for their neighbors who were struggling due to the COVID-19 pandemic and recovering from catastrophic flooding. And where ordinary citizens, when faced with challenges, look for ways that they can work together to help others. In this historic year, we have seen Nebraskans demonstrate the true meaning of caring for one another through service. We are seeing more and more people getting involved in their communities and seeking out national service programs like AmeriCorps because they want to work to make Nebraska and our country the best it can be. The Step Forward Awards are the highest honor given in the state to recognize outstanding volunteer service. My sincerest thanks go out to all Nebraska volunteers for making the Nebraska difference, and congratulations on today's honorees.
Thank you, Governor Ricketts. We appreciate you being here today to help us celebrate all these wonderful volunteers. Our MCs for this evening will be no strangers to those of you who live in Lincoln and to those of you who have attended the Step Forward Awards in the past. John and Taryn Vanderford are Emmy Award-winning anchors, reporters, and producers for KOLN KGIN 1011 News. John is the executive producer for Pure Nebraska, a rural lifestyle show that highlights the state's #1 industry, agriculture, and shows viewers unique places to visit in Nebraska. He co-hosts the show with his wife Taryn and morning show meteorologist Brad Anderson. In addition, Taryn anchors First at 4 and hosts Lincoln's Mom's Everyday program. Please help me welcome back John and Taryn Vanderford.
Thank you, and it is an honor to be back again this year recognizing such wonderful people who do so much for Nebraska.
Our first category is the Adult Volunteer Award, and we are honoring Kendra Feather from Scottsbluff.
It is easy to see how invested Kendra is in her local community by looking at everything she's accomplished. As president of the Scottsbluff County Community Center, a position which she has held for nearly 10 years, she facilitates volunteer efforts to expand the capacity of the center. It is important to Kendra, especially in the midst of the challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, that seniors get the food and supplies that they need to live. By coordinating the local Meals on Wheels, Shopping for Seniors, and home-delivered commodities programs, she ensures that our seniors are taken care of as they deserve. These services went uninterrupted during the pandemic, thanks in large part to Kendra's personal determination to keep it going when people needed it most. Kendra uses that same determination when helping develop the Save a Rack at Bacharach's fundraiser as part of the Festival of Hope. The Save a Rack fundraiser aims to support those affected by breast cancer by auctioning off decorated, bedazzled, and feathered bras to raise money. The fundraiser began in 2013, and Kendra continues to play a part in its success. Since then, it has raised almost $300,000 for cancer patient assistance. The profound impact Kendra has made on our community is a testament to her endless generosity. We couldn't put it better than her nominator Shanna Halstead did when she said, "Our community is truly blessed to have her." Thank you for all of your hard work, Kendra. The next category we are proud to honor is National Service. The honorees are Francis Gonzalez and Sharon Bartlett from Team RSVP of Chadron, Nebraska.
Francis and Sharon are AmeriCorps Seniors RSVP volunteers who serve with the Northwest Community Action Partnership. AmeriCorps Seniors RSVP is one of the nation's largest volunteer networks for people aged 55 and over. It gives seniors the opportunities to use skills and talents they've worked hard to build over the years and develop new ones while serving in their community. As a rule, RSVP volunteers have always been internally committed to service, but Francis and Sharon go above and beyond when it comes to volunteering their time and energy to making the Chadron community better. As a part of their AmeriCorps RSVP service, Francis and Sharon have been involved in many efforts, including serving at the local food pantry, Meals on Wheels, and the Salvation Army. They also helped organize the Feed a Hungry Senior program that addresses the nutritional needs of the elderly, who often must choose between medication, food, and heat for their homes. When COVID-19 struck, they didn't back down. They stepped forward even more to meet the growing needs around them. They helped to convert the food pantry into a curbside pickup operation to increase safety, and then helped oversee delivery for those who were particularly vulnerable or homebound. Both Francis and Sharon are very positive people who ask for no thanks for the service they give, but we're going to give it anyway. Thank you so much to RSVP volunteers Sharon and Francis for all they've done for their community. The honoree in the Youth Volunteer Leadership category is Joseph Zahn from Omaha.
Joseph is a junior at Miller North High School who has definitely earned the title of leader for his initiative in seeking out problems in his community and then building a solution to solve them. Joseph founded Joy of Music as well as Dreams Quartet of Omaha. These groups of young musicians visit senior living communities to give both much-needed company and entertainment to elderly residents. It also provides the budding musicians the opportunity to practice performing in front of an audience. They have brought the joy of music to over 500 elderly citizens in and around Omaha. Joseph also serves as a mentor to these students and has led his group in performing to raise funds to help Nebraska recover from the historic flooding in 2019. Joseph has been honored with numerous awards and accolades for his hard work. Most notably, he was recognized with a George H.W. Bush Daily Point of Light Award and as a 2020 Carson Scholar. During the pandemic, he adapted his group's work to a digital platform by giving virtual performances and went a step further by leading his group in sending gifts, greeting cards, and messages of encouragement to the seniors they wished they could see in person. Congratulations, Joseph, for being named this year's Youth Volunteer Leadership Honoree.
Hi, we're Nelnet. We're 20-plus businesses all united by one purpose, serving others. And since its founding in 2004, the Nelnet Foundation has donated millions of dollars to support our communities, proudly serving to make dreams possible.
This year's Volunteer Group Award is sponsored by Black Hills Energy. Thank you, Black Hills Energy, for your commitment to service and volunteerism.
Black Hills Energy was a recipient of the Corporate Community Volunteer category in 2018 for their ambassador service in Nebraska. The 2020 Volunteer Group honoree is Rotary 14 of Lincoln, Nebraska. With nearly 250 members among its ranks, it's no surprise that Rotary 14 is well equipped to get things done. Each of their members contributes something to boost the group's impact, and they all live their lives in service to the community. The estimated time that Rotary 14 members collectively spend serving is an astounding 10,000 hours per year. Rotary 14 has been around for 110 years. Their involvement in the community includes Lincoln schools, where they serve as mentors, support renovations, and provide much-needed classroom supplies. They also lead conservation projects, such as highway cleanups and tree planting, and fight food insecurity with a multifaceted approach. The list of benefits and programs in which Rotary 14 has been involved is endless and includes, but is not limited to, serving at the Gathering Place, the Salvation Army, Teammates, Junior Achievement, and Big Brother Big Sister. And their service hasn't only impacted Nebraska. Rotary 14 supports international projects as well. They have orchestrated multiple fundraisers to help people in countries stuck by hardship and are heavily involved in Rotary International's mission to eradicate polio around the world. It could take years to list all of the achievements of Rotary 14. Their clear commitment to service is encapsulated by a quote from their current president, Eric Drumheller, who says, "We know that our work is never done. Keep up the excellent work, Rotary 14. We expect to see so many great things come out of your generous organization." Tonight's Corporate Community Volunteer Award sponsor, Omaha Public Power District, is no stranger to this award, as they were recognized last year for their outstanding work in the Omaha community as the Large Business Honoree. The Small Business Corporate Community Volunteer Honoree of this year is BD Construction in Kearney.
BD Construction is not a business that only cares about the bottom line. BD Construction, consisting of nearly 40 employees, is an integral part of the Kearney community. The leaders of the business encourage their workers to seek out ways to give back, often using the expertise and resources that they have as a construction company to give back in a valuable way. For example, employees of BD Construction completed a new shed for the Kearney Area Animal Shelter and facilitated a $100,000 remodel of the Kearney Public Schools Transition Program building. Another project consisted of building more than a dozen quality child-sized workbenches, which were then donated to benefit auctions that raised money for Make-A-Wish, the Children's Museum, and local schools. BD employees had a team in Relay for Life, chaired and volunteered at AHA's Go Red for Women, danced in Kearney's Dancing with the Stars fundraiser, led an event to raise funds for the treatment of mental health, and are active in an organization raising funds to assist veterans. Without a doubt, BD Construction is ready and willing to say yes to any request for help. Thank you, BD Construction, for your undying commitment to the Kearney community. The large business corporate community volunteer honoree is Union Bank and Trust of Lincoln.
Union Bank and Trust employees perfectly represent the business's commitment to caring for the community which they serve. They take pride in empowering their employees to make a difference in any way they can. A pinnacle part of their contribution to Lincoln is their Magic Moments program that benefits 10 families every year who are going through tough times or who are deserving of recognition. These families are given special gifts for the holidays and sometimes a reprieve from grief or troubling circumstances. Each year, Union Bank and Trust also puts on a Shred Day, where volunteers help save the environment from waste and protect people's identities from fraud free of charge. In 2019, UBT held a week-long volunteer event with Habitat for Humanity that they called Team Build Week. UBT employees exceeded everyone's expectations by filling all available volunteer time slots within 24 hours. They added another day to accommodate their employees' enthusiasm for service. And in the end, nearly 100 employees participated. We are glad to have Union Bank and Trust as a part of the Lincoln community. Well deserved.
Motion Content House serves organizations by expanding their brands and increasing sales. Owned by two proud Nebraskans, MCH is a marketing agency whose primary delivery is world-class video content for businesses, nonprofits, schools, and more. Since 2008, Motion Content House is the most prolific content company in the region, having produced over 6,500 videos in 31 states and 5 countries. For content marketing and sales, Motion Content House is your trusted partner.
For the second year in a row, Nebraska has been affected by a disaster, and we can all agree it has been a very challenging couple of years. But Nebraskans have overcome so much and met those challenges head on, especially volunteers.
Volunteers across the state came together and got creative to quickly build solutions and help as many people as they could. I think I can speak for everyone here when I say we are all so grateful. To honor what they've done, the Serve Nebraska Commission and the governor elected to give 5 awards in the disaster category. This year, those awards are Adult Disaster, Youth Disaster, Disaster Volunteer Group, Corporate Disaster, and Disaster Innovation. The Adult Disaster Volunteer honoree is Jan Ten Benzel of Cambridge, Nebraska. We all remember earlier this year when hand sanitizer became hard to find in the stores. Amid so much unknown, people were scrambling to get their hands on the items they needed to stay safe from COVID-19. Jan, the volunteer chairman of the Nebraska Ethanol Board, was instrumental in organizing the effort to use ethanol to produce 200,000 gallons of safe hand sanitizer. Within a week, they managed to get their operation up and running and approved by the FDA. A timeline like that is nothing short of remarkable. The sanitizer was then donated to those who needed it most to help protect the community. Many teachers, first responders, medical personnel, and other essential workers were able to maintain safety and keep working to keep our state and country afloat. Jan Ten Benzel deserves our deepest thanks for his identification of a problem and quick action to make it better.
The Youth Disaster Volunteer honoree is Taylor Cumblage of Lincoln, Nebraska. When the COVID-19 pandemic struck and Taylor's school was closed, she took the opportunity to prove herself a service leader. Before the pandemic, she was active as a Division I athlete and dedicated volunteer fighting food insecurity. So what she decided to do with her newfound free time after schools closed should come as no surprise. Taylor saw that families were struggling more than ever to make ends meet, and she knew she could help. Taylor volunteers with the Boys and Girls Club of Lincoln-Lancaster County's dinner meal distribution program, where she helped make meals 4 times a week, and is known for being the first volunteer to arrive and the last one to leave. As Taylor enters her senior year of school this fall, she continues to volunteer 2 times per week. Please join us in thanking Taylor for her dedication and wishing her the best of luck with her senior year.
The Disaster Volunteer Group honoree is the Dakota County Voices for Food Council of South Sioux City, Nebraska. As most of you know, Dakota County, Nebraska faced one of the worst outbreaks of COVID-19 in our state. As a result, many families were out of work, caring for ill relatives, and simply struggling to get by. The Dakota County Voices for Food Council came to the rescue. Prior to the pandemic in 2016, Voices for Food Council founded the only evening food pantry in the county. In a town with no grocery store, the much-needed pantry has provided food for nearly 12,000 participants in 4 years. So it was clear that the Voices for Food Council had the experience, the connections, and the ability to leverage resources to begin solving the problem at hand. Right off the bat, they created a food access committee that collected over $40,000 for food relief and amassed donations and secured a food supply from local agencies. Then they remedied the safety issues involved in packaging the food for distribution by establishing a system to create a safe and closed facility for volunteers to get the job done. Even when things were at their worst and the Dakota County food pantries nearly closed their doors, the Dakota County Voices for Food Council kept all 4 Dakota County food pantries open for the duration of the outbreak. Such great determination deserves equally great honor and thanks. Congratulations, Dakota County Voices for Food Council.
The Corporate Disaster Volunteer honoree is Green Plains, Omaha, Nebraska. When our other honoree, Jan Ten Benzel, and the Nebraska Ethanol Board proposed using Nebraska ethanol supplies to produce sanitizer for essential workers, they knew that they needed a whole team to get the job done. And the first thing they needed was enough ethanol to make the operation possible. That's when Green Plains stepped in. Led by its CEO, Todd Becker, Green Plains ensured that the project could be as successful as it was by providing most of the ethanol that went into the sanitizer. And he did it free of charge. Thanks to Green Plains and everyone who participated in the Nebraska Ethanol Board and UNL Sanitizer Project, countless essential workers were able to keep themselves and our community safe. We can't thank you enough.
The Disaster Innovation Volunteer honoree is Matthew Spostat and PPE for NE of Papillion, Nebraska. Matt owns and operates Undream 3D, a 3D printing business that focuses on product development. When COVID-19 started affecting the U.S., he looked about ways he could help. With his unique expertise and the equipment available, a plan began to form. After reaching out to hospitals, Matt and his team found that hospitals were in dire need of face shields to protect their frontline workers. Before long, Matt founded PPE for NE, and they began taking requests. But soon, their small operation was becoming overwhelmed with requests, so instead of turning them away, they branched out and got more help. They reached out to Omaha Community Printers online and recruited more printers and connected with Dr. Anela Izzati to coordinate distribution. With the help of a GoFundMe account, they were able to get extra supplies, turning each dollar donated into one face shield. Their first free deliveries went out on March 30th, and as of July 23rd, they have delivered over 6,000 face shields around Nebraska. Without a doubt, lives have been saved thanks to the innovative thinking done by Matthew Spostat and PPE for NE.
Metropolitan Utilities District provides safe and reliable natural gas and water no matter what challenges arise. Today we say thank you to our 800+ employees for their leadership and the life essential services they ensure every day. MUD, proud to serve.
Home Instead Senior Care has been a dedicated sponsor of the Senior Volunteer Award since 2018. They are so appreciative to all the seniors and encourage them to volunteer as part of a healthy and fulfilling lifestyle. We can't agree with you more. Thank you, Home Instead, for sponsoring the Senior Volunteer Award. This year's honoree is Dr. Mike Eppel of Lincoln, Nebraska. Dr. Eppel is passionate about literacy and making sure everyone has the opportunity to make a better life for themselves. As an immigrant from Ireland himself, he is particularly motivated to lend a helping hand to those who are new to our country. Mike has volunteered for Lincoln Literacy for more than 10 years. In the beginning, he took the time to teach English both individually and in a classroom setting. But as you might guess, Dr. Eppel has some expertise that would prove to be useful in developing another project. He envisioned a program to serve as a stepping stone from completing literacy classes to finding a career that they would be proud of. Given his experience as a medical professional, he was uniquely qualified to implement the CNA prep course starting in 2018. Dr. Eppel was instrumental in developing the curriculum and garnering the resources such as tutors and texts needed for the program to be a success. As evidence of Dr. Eppel's hard work and excellent implementation, 20 out of the 21 students who attended the first Lincoln Literacy CNA prep program are now certified as nursing assistants. Mike serves as vice president on the Lincoln Literacy Board and in the past sat on the Jewish Federation of Lincoln and Tifereth Israel Synagogue Board. His volunteer work outside Nebraska has included volunteer work in Haiti and at a refugee camp in Bangladesh. Congratulations, and thanks to Dr. Mike Eppel.
The veteran volunteer honoree is Dick Harrington, a U.S. Air Force veteran from Bellevue. Dick is a Vietnam veteran who is motivated by a passion for helping fellow veterans. You would be hard-pressed to find a veterans assistance program in the area that Dick hasn't helped with or started. He is well known in the community as someone who is always there to help a veteran in need. At the Omaha VA, Dick has served for 11 years and accumulated over 6,200 hours of service. As a veteran volunteer, he has two roles. His first is as a Red Coat ambassador. He greets visitors, escorts veterans, provides veteran assistance, and listens with a compassionate ear. Dick's second role is as the chairman of the Veterans Advisory Council, in which he works to ensure all veteran concerns are addressed. It's no surprise that at the Omaha VA, Dick is known as the MVP of volunteers. As a volunteer for the Radio Talking Book Service, where he has given his time for 10 years, Dick helps those who have disabilities that prevent them from reading by providing human-voiced recordings. Programs like these that promote inclusivity and accessibility to people with disabilities are invaluable and add tremendous value to our communities. One of Dick's most notable achievements has been founding the Final Salute Society that provides a proper farewell to veterans with no known family. Dick firmly believes that all veterans are a family and no vet should have to die alone. So he does what he can to give them a final salute. Citizens and veterans across Nebraska are so lucky to have you, Dick. Thank you so much for your service to our state and our country.
Our next award is named in honor of Cena Jamie Moore. Jamie has been involved with Serve Nebraska, the Nebraska Volunteer Commission, since its inception in 1994 until 2018. During this time, she has served several terms equaling 10 years as the commission chair.
In honoring the tireless Jamie spirit, the Serve Nebraska Commission members have dedicated this award to recognize other enduring champions of national and community service who have significantly furthered the State Commission's efforts.
This year's honoree is Senator Tony Vargas of Omaha, Nebraska. Senator Vargas has always been a supporter of national service. A proud son of immigrants and first-generation college graduate, he understands the impact that living a life of service can make, not just on the beneficiaries, but on oneself. In 2016, Senator Vargas was elected to the Nebraska legislature and had devoted his legislative career to social issues such as equity in education, juvenile justice, equal access to college, technology, and health care. During his time as a member of the State Appropriations Committee, he advocated to direct funding toward helping the most vulnerable in our state. AmeriCorps is a group that is near and dear to his heart and has had an enormous impact on his life. That impact motivated him to introduce and champion Legislative Bill 477, a bill that provides a state tax exemption for AmeriCorps Siegel Education Awards. That bill was signed into law this summer. AmeriCorps members in Nebraska will now be able to use their hard-earned education award to the fullest, and they owe it all to his steadfast determination. Let's hear a few words from the 2020 Cena Moore Making a Difference awardee, Senator Tony Vargas.
My name is Tony Vargas. I'm a state senator in District 7 in downtown South Omaha, and I've been representing this district for the last 4 years. My wife and I were both in AmeriCorps And honestly, this is very similar to the Peace Corps. It's about making sure that we're doing service all across the country. There are communities in need, and my wife and I were fortunate enough to be in AmeriCorps in New York City. We were both teachers in an under-resourced high-need school, and she taught in the Bronx and I taught in Brooklyn, and I loved my experience. And since then, we've obviously continued to stay in service, not only through our work professionally, but also our work in the community. So one, I hope that everybody finds a way to engage in service. I think it's something that we're missing. Across the country, we have people that are in need, and we have communities that can use some support. And if everybody decided to spend some time in service every single month, or participate in Serve Nebraska or in other types of commissions that provide service to our communities, I think our country is going to be a lot better off. And I think we need that now more than ever in a time where we need some more unity and make sure that we're supporting our communities. So the reason we introduced this bill is we had a lot of conversations on what some of the barriers are for AmeriCorps members, part of Serve Nebraska, that are serving here in this state, that is making it harder for them to serve. And one of them is your award that you receive from the federal government is taxed. And this is an award that's meant to be an educational award that you can use to then go seek post-secondary education in some way, shape, or form and offset costs. And unfortunately, it being taxed is a burden, especially when there's other states around us that don't tax this. And so we wanted to make it easier for people to choose to serve in the state of Nebraska. And so I'm lucky that we had a coalition of people that cared about this. Serve Nebraska, its commissioners, Kathleen Plager, so many other individuals, the governor, my legislative colleagues, and this passed pretty easily. And the reason I think it did is because of the stories of the individuals that are serving right now, all across our state, urban and rural. And they've been there for us amidst the floods. They've been there during this pandemic, and they've been there in so many different communities to make sure that we get the support we need, and we're also exemplifying what service means across the state.
Before we introduce the honoree for the most prestigious award of the evening, the Lifetime Achievement Award, I would like to introduce a speaker who, in truth, needs no introduction for us Nebraskans.
Dr. Tom Osborne was a recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award in 2019 for his lifelong dedication to the state of Nebraska. His development of the Teammates program showed a deep belief that athletes have the potential to improve the lives of young students. The ongoing success of that program proved Dr. Osborne right and continues to have an enormous impact on young people in our state and beyond. Please give a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Dr. Tom Osborne.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to be here this evening to celebrate volunteerism and recognize this year's Lifetime Achievement Awardee. Before I forget, I would like to give a special thank you to tonight's leadership sponsors, Metropolitan Utilities District, Union Pacific, and Nelnet. At last year's Step Forward Awards, my wife Nancy and I had the honor of being awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award for our development of the Teammates Mentoring Program. The Teammates Mentoring Program began in 1991 with 22 Nebraska football players leveraging their experience to become mentors and role models for Lincoln Public Schools middle school students. Each of those football players' commitment to inspiring and advising their mentees had an immense impact on their future. 21 of those 22 original mentees graduated high school, and 18 went on to pursue higher education. Today, Teammates operates on a larger scale, serving thousands of children across our Midwest region. Our mentors come from all walks of life and encourage kids to develop a passion for learning and demonstrate all different kinds of success. We're so proud of what this program has become and how it's grown. That's the most miraculous thing about service, how it ripples outward. When you commit to one small act of service, it's easy to think that that might be it and that the impact was insignificant. But I'm here to tell you there is no small impacts when it comes to volunteerism. Even the smallest acts of kindness serve to inspire more kindness from others, make a difference in the lives of people around you, and are passed down through generations. When someone serves as a mentor, they don't just make an impact on the mentee, they create unstoppable momentum. Mentors show an image of what is possible and encourage the mentee to imagine a brighter future. When mentees achieve that future for themselves, they go on to illuminate possibilities for others. My grandfather had a mentor named James Currens, who saw my grandfather's speaking ability and encouraged him to be a preacher. And so my grandfather, because of that encouragement, became a well-known preacher in western Nebraska. He served at several churches, influenced hundreds, if not thousands of people. And I always admired that grandfather of mine. And he inspired me to do what I did. And I mentored essentially about 2,000 football players over many years. And so that ripple effect went down from my grandfather to his children, to me, and hopefully was passed on to many other football players who in turn mentored their families. And so that ripple effect is very powerful and has a lasting effect throughout our culture. That's what the Lifetime Achievement Award is all about. Those awarded this honor are people whose lifelong service has forever changed the community around them for the better. I'm thrilled to be able to congratulate this year's Lifetime Achievement Award honoree from Ulysses, Nebraska, Rita Shipley.
The Lifetime Achievement Award is sponsored by Share Omaha. Thank you, Share Omaha, for your service to organizations and citizens of the Omaha area, and for sponsoring this amazing award. And now it's time to hear from our Lifetime Achievement Awardee, Rita Shipley.
I'm Rita Shipley, and I'm from Ulysses, Nebraska. I was born and raised about 3.5 miles northwest of Ulysses, and that's where I grew up. And after I was married, we lived here in town since 1955. Of course, we had 8 children, so there was things I had to volunteer for. And I guess that's kind of where it started. First of all, the high school was closed in 1960, and then the elementary in 1983. So that was going to leave the buildings totally empty, and I didn't like to see them deteriorate or be torn down or something. So then they left this gym for us to have for a recreation center. And we formed a committee to look after the building and not only try to improve it, which it needed a lot of improvement. We've used it for a lot of different things, school reunions, family reunions, graduation parties. We've had, I think, 5 weddings here, and so it's been an important part of our community. For one thing, I think most of the people in Nebraska, their families are important. And then when you have a family that's important, your community is important. And that's why people become more involved, I think, in their communities, because they want to see their family be part of it and be involved in it. And that's, I think, a lot of it. Well, my daughter was one of them that was the one that nominated me, and I called her and I said, "What did you get me into?" I didn't know what it was. And of course, it turned out to be pretty good, you know. I couldn't say otherwise, but then when I heard him say that I was getting the Lifetime Achievement Award, I said at my age I'd better get going with that because I couldn't live much longer for achievement, so I better do it now, which was a great honor. I didn't ever expect anything like that. My name is Rita Shipley, and I'm the 2020 Lifetime Achievement honoree.
Thank you, Dr. Osborne, for those inspiring words, and congratulations, Rita. Thank you to all the volunteers out there making a difference during this challenging time. Please know that you are all deserving of our thanks. Congratulations to today's honorees. You've done some spectacular work, and we know you'll keep it up. If you'd like to learn more about any of the projects mentioned this evening, please visit the Serve Nebraska website to find more information about the honorees.
Now we welcome Commissioner Care Heilbrunn to the podium for the closing words.
Thank you. I am Care Heilbrunn, the chair of the Community Volunteering Committee for the Serve Nebraska Commission. Wow, I am absolutely blown away by all of the amazing, courageous, and tireless national service and volunteer efforts made by Nebraskans every single day this year. More than ever, our state has proven to be strong enough to weather even the most difficult of times, and we do it the Nebraska way, by coming together and offering a helping hand to those in need, and finding new ways, not just to withstand, but to rise and to grow stronger. Volunteers represent the very best of Nebraska, and we are proud to have the opportunity to honor them. Governor Ricketts, we greatly appreciate your leadership and your enduring dedication to volunteerism and national service. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Once again, thank you to our sponsors and supporters, Motion Content House, Union Pacific Railroad, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, Metropolitan Utilities, Nelnet, Homestead Senior Care Foundation, Share Omaha, Omaha Public Power, Black Hills Energy, AAA of Nebraska, Structural Component Systems, Benny and Jamesina Moore, Governor Pete Ricketts and First Lady Suzanne Shore, KOLN, KGIN news anchors John and Tara Vanderford, and the Nebraska Broadcasters Association. Your contributions to the Step Forward Awards go a long way in highlighting the significance of Nebraskans who give of their time, energy, and financial resources daily to make Nebraska a different place to be. We hope that the stories of today's recipients have inspired you also to do all you can to make a difference in your community. You can follow in their footsteps by participating in Serve Nebraska Week, April 18th through the 24th, 2021. Visit the Serve Nebraska website for more details. Thank you again for all attending today and helping recognize those who stepped forward in Nebraska this year. We can't wait to see how this inspiration to serve will ripple outward. We hope to see you next year on October 22nd, 2021. In the meantime, stay safe, and when you can, don't forget to step forward. Good night.